Good morning. Oh my goodness, you guys were having challenges with the light situation today. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Eeks. Let's see if this helps. Does this help? Does this help? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Every week is something new, but I guess that's what happens with technology, right? Sometimes we just don't know. We don't know. And that's why we do these at 11 o'clock on Saturday mornings, 11 Eastern. And because we don't know what we don't know. And I'm here to be the person that can bring to you some knowledge about this industry that is very misunderstood, and that, a lot of people feel that it's, a misfit industry to be in. It's very misunderstood industry to be in. And it's what we do. It's not who we are. And so I just wanted to share this. Well, there's quite a few things I want to share with you today. One, we're going to talk about Dolly Parton. One, we're going to talk about this lady that's in California that is banned from volunteering in her daughter's classroom. We're going to talk about breast implants today. Definitely, we're going to just keep going in this series of, men versus women in this industry. Why are they such heroes, and we're so victimized all the time, right? Well, I'm here to debunk those myths and shed a new light on who we are in this industry. And I was in that industry for 17 and a half years, in the same club, in the same city, and just taking care of my family. And it provided excellent means of financial stability in our home. We were able to have a lot of really great things. We were able to drive nice cars. We had a home. We had, my kids were completely spoiled. I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys and a girl. And we were able to experience a lot of things that maybe possibly other people couldn't do. But one of the things that happened was that I left that industry, retired, and from that industry, a broken millionaire. And my goal is to show others that they too do not need to leave that industry broken people. And so this is what I want to say to you, that money means no longer being a feeling defeated, deflated, broke, or broken. What I'm here to do is to empower the adult entertainment industry and the tipping industry to be heroes of their own stories. Even though I'm aiming for the topless entertainment adult industry, this can impact a mass of people. I'm opening eyes to an industry that people really don't know. These are things inside this industry keeping men and women from becoming all they can be, and on the inside as well as the outside. And also to inform the public of something that basically filters out most things. Even though it is a very different industry, it's not so much different than actually standing behind a pulpit. People are broke and broken. So my story, if it can impact just one person and make a difference financially, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, then I will have done a good thing. My job is to unfilter your eyes and how this can impact from the inside out. They can see possibilities beyond anything that they can imagine. Slaying the villains, the insecurities, the imposter syndromes, disdain, not good enough, fear, guilt, shame, addiction, the list goes on. Your superpowers can break the chains of your past. You must have a money plan, a health plan, a spiritual plan, and a way out plan. And this I can assist you with. This is what I'm looking forward to in our Saturday morning shout outs and talk about this industry that is so misunderstood. And again, this is about what we did. It's not who we are. Hi, my name is Shelly Jean, and I'm here to bring this episode to you this Saturday morning, 11 Eastern. And let's get right into it. So, has anyone heard of Eric Thomas? They call him E.T. He's just this fantastic freaking preacher online. And somebody in a group that I'm in have posted this short little intro because apparently he's going to be online tomorrow live at 11 I believe it's 11 Eastern. Oh no, I hope I didn't get that wrong. Anyway, you can go on Facebook, look for Eric Thomas, and I'm sure you'll have all the information you need. But I love what he said, because this pertains to us, people. Like, come on. Like, we're not less than anybody. And this is going to be a little spiritual related this morning. And let me put it to you this way. Your spirituality is whatever it is you believe in, or whatever it is you don't believe in. I believe in God. My daughter is an atheist. My son believes in a completely different thing. So we all have our beliefs about things, but that does not mean that I don't love you for who you are and for what you're doing in your life. Because I believe that whatever the purpose is for you, it's for a reason. And this is so dope, as E.T. says, because he says you are so dope that that God didn't make a duplicate, right? Like, he didn't make anybody like you. He didn't create anybody to be like you. He didn't create anybody to do the things that you do. He didn't create anybody to be the voice that you have. And he didn't make another you. Many of us who are struggling, we don't fit right with some people. We don't fit right with some people that we love, and we don't fit right with society where we come from. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so fitting. And E.T. is a black guy. Obviously, I'm a white girl, but I fitted in a society, or I was in a society that just didn't fit in, right? I come from the adult entertainment industry, a topless nightclub. Like, are you for real? Like, I didn't fit in. So yeah, we're pretty freaking dope. Like, I love that. And I was like, E.T., you are speaking to me today. I love you speaking to you. You are absolutely freaking dope. And I freaking love it. So this is what he says. So now they are getting confused with God. When God made me, he made me a volume. He made me to have a voice. Not like most women or most men. He gave me an energy. He had me dancing on stage for 17 and a half years in the same nightclub, in the same city, in a town where I decided that I was going to go for 1 year and ended up 17 years later. I was so conflicted about this after I retired from the industry. And for those of you who don't know, and for those of you that do know, or your first time coming here, please go to @ShellyJean on YouTube. Like and subscribe to my channel, because we're going to be dropping this live video down in there later on this afternoon. So you can have a chance to share it out, talk it out, and just come back for inspiration, for your motivation, for you to be able to, gift yourself a better quality day today. All right. So this is where this Saturday morning will be dropped. So I'm grateful and blessed that this industry had fed and clothed my family for 17 and a half years. Not only my kids, but also my family. I'm talking my mom, my brothers, nieces, nephews. It was a ripple effect. Because everything that we do isn't just about us. It's about the people that we affect all around us, the things that we say, the things that we do, things that we don't do. And that's why, again, like I said, I loved it today when E.T. said, that we're pretty dope because we weren't made a duplicate. And again, we struggle because we don't fit with some people we love, and and I'm too much for some people, and I've heard that, and I've struggled, and this is not a word I want to use. I want to use the word challenged. So I was challenged with the I'm too much for some people and not enough for others, or you speak too much, or whatever the case may be. Hey Teresa, thanks for being here. For whatever the case may be. And so when I saw this little clip popped into our chat this morning with ET, I was like right in the beginning, I said, he is like speaking my language today, so I can speak this with you. So here we are, the misfits of society, the ill-informed, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. So if we don't know what we don't know, of course, we're going to do things and continue to do the same things, hang around with the same people, doing it's like the insanity of the circle. Like, right, you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's like you're being on a hamster wheel. So now that I'm here to chat with you and inform you of something different, now you can never say you don't know ever again. So there's that. So my misfit is unique to me. I'm uniquely made, and my story is the glory to share with you. And being in this industry not only is about the money, but the why behind it. My why, when I got in this industry for the very first year, was when I moved from a small city in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to the big Minneapolis, Minnesota, to go into an industry that I had never even considered in my entire lifetime. Was, at that time, first of all, I want to say right now, like, this is the glory of the story. Like, I didn't even know that this was going to be one of the most life-changing decisions I had ever done in my life. That 1 year turned into 17 and a half years. And the reason I went was to get myself out of debt, was to feed my kids, to get off food stamps, to get off South Dakota welfare program. I knew that there had to be a better way. And a lot of us that are in this industry, this is what brings us in, because the money is so freaking phenomenal. Like, where else can you make money if you don't have a degree, haven't gone to college, you don't have a good education, or you're in an area and you're surrounded by people that either A, do the same things that you are talked into doing, or B, or either, most of the time we're following instead of leading. And right now I feel like, especially for me, that was, my family was not reciprocal of when I very first started, but it sure became pretty amazing for them, because I was able to, offer great experiences for them as well. Like all our Christmases were pretty spectacular. I'm talking crazy. And at that time too, without even knowing it, I was really buying affection, buying love, hey, look at me, look at all the things that I can do for you, and it's just all the craziness that goes along with this industry. But however, it was really, really good, because again, like I said, it took care of my family, and my family is my why behind everything, even to this day. And I'm very, very grateful for them. So incredibly proud of them. And they're just amazing. So what is your why behind the thing that you're doing, right? So this brings me, and we're going to talk about this a little bit too, but not right at the moment, but also to make more money, I decided also that, in this industry, it's a big thing, even just like in the modeling industry, there are enhancements made. There's Botox, there's all these things, breast implants. And I decided that I was, going to add to my money-making capabilities. And I decided to get breast implants to enhance, my look, and to feel more confident, and to bring about that air of, I look around in a room of, I shared in a video last week of all the 10s that were in the room, and 98% of them all had breast implants. And I thought, why not me? Right. So, and I did, and it did work for me for a while, until I did realize that this is a whole mind thing. And I really didn't need to have breast implants, but we're going to talk about that, because that's a big deal, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And then I want to share these two stories with you that I talked about. One was Dolly Parton, and the other is a California mom that was banned from her daughter's room to volunteer. So let's get into that for a moment. So when we talk about, really, so when we talk about this industry that is so misunderstood, here's what I love about Dolly Parton. And I was reminded of her story just yesterday. And I firmly believe when I had shared with you in the beginning that this is a little bit about spirituality, this is why I say this. So Dolly Parton, when she's very, very authentic in her stories about how very, very poor she was growing up. And she remembers being with her family, and they would go through town, and there was this woman that would be walking the streets, and her dad would, really put this lady down, because she was the so-called hooker, in their community, or prostitute, or however you want to call her. But she was beautiful to Dolly, and had all makeup and everything. And she just had these, high heels, and, wore these really cute clothes. And Dolly really took to that. And so Dolly actually took her whole branding, her whole persona, and marked it after this lady that she didn't even know. It was her inspiration to be who Dolly is today. And Dolly has, I mean, look at her. She said she's like put her makeup on like this girl, and she's got all the wigs, and she's got the breast and enhancements and breast implants, and she made a branding for herself. And look at her, she's amazing. And whenever she tells her story, I've never heard anybody ever say anything negative about Dolly, ever. Dolly's incredible. Dolly looks the part, plays the part, does the songs, touches our lives in one way or another. And that's what this industry does too. So you can, and Jesus had, there's a story in the Bible that I absolutely freaking love. I didn't even get this, you guys, until in this past year. And I'm going to share a little bit about that in a minute too, on why I believe in this story now when I didn't 12 years ago. But there's a story in the Bible that talks about that, where there was an adulteress, and the town brought this adulting lady to Jesus, and they were going to stone her and kill her. And sorry, Facebook, I'm telling a story. And they were going to stone her and do all these things. And Jesus said to him, let the first stone throw, basically, who hasn't created sin themselves. And they all walked away, and the lady was left standing. And I thought, wow, isn't that the truth? Like, all those that have stoned me and have said mean things about me, to me, behind my back, in front of my kids, like, really. So I shared a story last week too, and I'm going to share it on here because this is a new day, different video, about attending my son's baseball games. And there was a group of boys that had gone up to my son and was giving him grief about their mom being a prostitute. And my son came over to me, and he was just totally upset. And he said, Mom, he's like, they're teasing me that, you're a prostitute. And I said, do you even know what that is? And he didn't. And I explained it to him. And I said, let me tell you something. I said, those boys that are teasing you right now, I said, I want you to go back there when their dads are with their moms, and you guys are all together in your groups at the end of the game. And I want you to ask those boys in front of their dads how their dads even knew what your mom was. Right? Because that meant that they were in my club. That meant that they probably had a dance from me. They had probably bought a dance from me, but yet they can go around and throw stones at me behind my back. You would never have known anything about me at all if you were not in my club, because that was not something that I talked about outside the club. If people ask me what I did, and this is part of this series that we're talking about, is the lies that we talk about, is I told my kids never to tell people where I worked, and that I just worked in a bar. And I did the same thing. When people asked what I did at the bar, I worked in sales. And that was it. There was nothing else ever talked about. And so that led me to this lady. This story just happened this week. And there's a mom whose daughter goes to a California school, and this woman is suing the school for banning her from being a volunteer. And the story is this: she has a private life, and nose itches. She has a private life, and she was banned from volunteering in her classroom. She's on an app called OnlyFans. Now, I don't know much about OnlyFans. I've only heard things, but I know people can make money on this, so it's very private. They do their thing. And anyway, for however it happened, they had found that this mom was on OnlyFans, and they had taken her pictures that they found on OnlyFans, and it actually had distributed it around the office at the school, and said, nope, she's not allowed to volunteer in our class because her private life doesn't make her the right person to volunteer. And I thought, wow, like, are you kidding? I am so behind this mom, 1000%, because I've been in her shoes, right? Like, I have been there. But are you joking? So you are going to go, whoever the you are, was in OnlyFans. This is the only way you could have found out about this mom. And to take her pictures and to show them off in the school, and then tell her that she can't volunteer, I hope that she sues the crap out of you. Are you kidding me? what she's got to do right now to get through whatever hardship or whatever thing it is she's going through, and it is none of your business to exploit her like that. And that's one of the things that happens with us in this industry, right? Like, I danced for 17 and a half years. Gratefully, I was, again, like I said, I just told people I was an entertainer, which I really was. I come from a really, really good, very clean, real legit club until it wasn't. And I can say that with complete faith. And I was when I decided I had to get out. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't just deal with all the crud that was going on in there. But anyway, that's a whole thing for another day. But this is what I'm talking about. If you can give your opinion or your belief about someone or something before you even know who they are or what they're about or anything like that, then like Jesus has said in this story, let he who doesn't sin cast the first stone, right? So this person that started this whole thing, you were in OnlyFans. What were you doing there? So yes, so don't come at and blaspheme somebody when you were in a place where you probably shouldn't have been either, right? As what you think. I personally am not judging anyone on what they do or it doesn't happen, because I've been in that space for 17 and a half years. My kids had to live with it. They're still living with it. And this moment right here, right now, also was a big turning point for me to even come in and talk about where I was at in that life. So I didn't want my grandkids to know. And then it was like we had a discussion, my kids and I, and it's like, you know what? It's what I did. It's not who I am. My grandkids freaking love me, and I love them more than anything. There isn't anything that I wouldn't do for them. And what is it that you would do for your families? The women that I worked with too in the industry at that time too, they were going to college, school, putting their kids through school, putting their kids through, different things, dance classes, like whatever. And all these extracurricular school activities cost a lot of money. And I can promise you, and if you're that person and you're making a minimum wage from job to job, that's not going to happen. You are not going to be able to afford to take care of your children, especially if you have more than one, and put them in these activities. And this is how a lot of these women and men get started in this industry, is because they know they can make extra money to take care of their families. So who are you to judge them and this industry and me when you have absolutely no freaking idea what you're talking about? So am I a little heated up about it? Yeah, I am, because it really makes me angry that people are just so judgmental. And I seriously, I cannot even wait for this lady in California to win her case, because yes, for her, right? So and that led me to, yeah, right, Teresa? So that led me to my story too with my kids. Like I told you my story about my son in baseball, and it led me to, there's way too much judgment in the world. Way too much judgment. I liked it in the day where you could have a discussion with people, and yes, and where you could just have a discussion with people and that you could just walk away, with people just, agreeing to disagree. And now it's like there's got to be this fight and riots to prove a point and prove my way, or it's like it has just gotten so incredibly out of control. It's cancel culture, all the things. And it's like, wow, you know what? If everybody just loved on everybody and just loved people for who they were, this world would be in such a great, better place. And that's another reason why I wanted to stand up for this industry, because I'm like, wow, you know what? During that whole pandemic, this community was not able to even get any federal government money, because they just, for whatever the reason, the government said they weren't deserving. Just, are you freaking kidding me? This is an industry that contributes to society. They pay their bills, they pay rent, they eat at your places, they eat at really great restaurants, they introduce their friends, and again, that's a ripple effect. So I'm going to just say, how dare you treat them that way? How dare you treat us that way? we're big contributors in our society. We don't take away anything. We contribute. We contribute to everything. We help keep small businesses open. And this industry definitely buys a lot of food from restaurants. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, people, come on, let's wake up. Let's wake up, right? We got to wake up to a lot of different things. So again, it's not what we did, it's who we are. We are those people that help contribute, to all these, to our communities. And for that, you should be grateful. Grateful that we're here for you. I'm grateful that we're, supporting you in your journeys. So I want to share a quick story, and I do have videos on this already on my YouTube channel. And 12 years ago, when life handed me a storm, and at that time I was teaching Sunday school, you guys. There's this adult entertainment person. I'm at church. I'm on, the AA board. I'm a recovering alcoholic, drug addict. I'm a recovering sex addict, basically, because, society has to put a label on that too, that because I was in the industry, I'm a sex addict. And I got much to say about that too. But anyway, I'm on the church board or on the church committee for all of these things. And I was asked to teach 5th and 6th grade Sunday school students. Probably one of the greatest blessings in my life. I learned so much from them. Honored to do so. And nobody knew what I did for a living except for my pastors and a couple of the other people in the congregation. And I thought, wow, if these parents knew. So there was the beginning of this imposter syndrome, right? Because now I'm starting to feel like I wasn't good enough. And I certainly didn't want to make waves, and I certainly didn't want to hurt people's feelings, and I didn't want to put people in a position to think that, oh my gosh, but here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, people knew, liked, and loved me, right? And without knowing anything about me other than, I regularly attended church, was on different committees, helping do the things, volunteering, just doing all the things. Well, 12 years ago, my firstborn, had passed away the day before his 30th birthday. My then husband had left me a few months earlier, before my son had died, for a girlfriend and a group of friends. So we got divorced. My daughter had miscarried, lost a little baby girl, found out I had cancer, and I had my middle son was in prison at that time for unintentional murder. And all this had happened in an 8-month period of time. So life literally handed me a freaking storm beyond storms. And I literally, well, first of all, completely devastated. And I walked away from my faith. I walked away from everything because I thought, oh my gosh, seriously, like, how could God do this to me? And it took every ounce of my being just to breathe. It was every ounce of my being just to get out of bed. And at that time, I had 2 little puppies, 2 little Shih Tzus, and they were the things that got me out of bed. And I had to get up out of bed to get them to go outside. And literally, I thank God for that. Oh, thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you so much. I love you, my friend. And so it was a whole new beginning of, I had a friend who I hadn't heard from in like 3 years, had reached out to me through an email. And he had asked me how I was doing. And I said, you don't want to know. And he said, yes, I do. So we got on the phone. I told him everything. And he really, and my son that passed away was a paraplegic too, by the way. He had fallen off the roof at 18 years old and was paralyzed from the nipples down, and had become sick with bed sores, just like Christopher Reeves. And we were doing everything we possibly could to save him, and his kidneys said nope, and they shut down. So I was telling our friend this, and he was devastated by what had happened and felt horrible that he hadn't, stayed in touch. And I was like, man, we were just busy trying to keep this kid alive. Like, the last thing I was even thinking about was him, and, talking to him and letting him know what was going on in our lives. So anyway, we rekindled our friendship. It's one of those people where you just pick up right where you left off. Oh, thank you, Ms. Kim. And so he had introduced me to a company, and a network marketing company. And in this company, I'm so grateful for them, because I really feel like they literally saved my life. They're so many amazing people in there that had lifted me up, inspired me, and helped me pull through such one of the darkest times in my life. And they will always be a piece of my life. And I have made some really, really great, amazing friends through there, Teresa being one of them. And it has been a journey for sure. And the thing of it was too, is like during this time too, when I walked away from my faith, I'd walked away. There was so many people that had walked away from me too, and had left me. And the ones that were left in my life didn't understand, didn't really know how to help me. And so I left my city of Minneapolis and I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, right into the Bible Belt, which I didn't even know what that was. Went right into the Bible Belt. There wasn't a single person that I didn't run into, come across in my way that didn't believe or do something about the Bible right now. I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Like, this is the last place I wanted to be. But I did love the culture there, and I loved, the weather and all that. So I decided, well, I'm just going to stick with it and do it. And little by little, when I tell you baby steps, that's exactly what I did. These women that I went to a Zumba class, started meeting all these women. All these women were in these Bible studies. I kept getting invited to everything. And so I eventually started attending Bible studies. And one of the very big first lessons that was taught to me was the bad girls of the Bible. And I was like, oh, that's me. I fit right in. That's who I am. I'm a bad girl of the Bible. And that was seriously one of the most beautiful exchanges for me to learn about that. And so I slowly started coming back into my faith, but I'm learning it in a whole different way. I'm receiving it in a whole different way. And nothing like I did when I was growing up. And so I'm super, super grateful that all these steps started happening. But this is the most powerful of them all. So I met this guy, and I can say his name. His name is Doug Briney. And he had moved his family from Alaska to Nashville, Tennessee to become a country artist. And he's he was baristaing at this coffee house that I love to go to, and we became friends. Next thing I know, he's asking me if I can help promote him. So I'm going to these gigs together, and we are having, I know, isn't he great, Teresa? So we're going to all these different venues together and everything. We got all these amazing connections. We're meeting all these famous people and just having the time of my life. And we were going to a gig one day, and it was like a 3-hour long drive. Not that I haven't been learning about Doug, but this is the moment that is the most pivotal. I've got to share this with you. So if you don't believe that there are miracles that happen, or you don't believe in your faith, I want to share with you that this is a story that for me, it was mind blowing. And it has been a big piece of my life ever since. And it shifted my thinking completely that day. And anyway, we're driving down the freeway. It was actually a county road, and we're going to this gig. And Doug's asking me all these questions, and I'm like, why are you asking me all these things? He's already known, a little bit about me. Like I said, I just shared with you, I shared with him, and we were getting a little bit deeper. He was asking me more and more questions. And then all of a sudden he's like, do you really know what I did for a living? And I said, well, yeah, like you came from the police department from Alaska, and you moved your family here, and you're becoming, a country singer, and, living into your dreams. And he's like, I'm a retired chaplain from the police force in Alaska. And what I did there was grief counseling. Boom! I was like, what? And I thought, man, God, what a sense of humor you have. He literally planted me in a seat, driving down the road, listening to a guy who's a grief counselor in the very depths of my soul that was hurting so badly from the trauma, and everything that, I had lost everything in my life, like literally everything. So I'm trying to figure out who I am, what I'm doing, who I'm becoming. I'm not working, obviously in the industry anymore. And I've been taking all these different jobs, everything from scooping dog poop to whatever come across my way just to survive, right? I went from being a broken millionaire into these stupid jobs, which, I mean, I can't call them stupid. I'm grateful to have them because they paved the way for me to have, some sort of, income coming in, but I was miserable. And so God is awesome. He does give us what we need and who we need. And so Doug has been a very instrumental person in my life ever since. And my journey into, so when I talk to you about the spirituality, emotionally, physically, and financially, these are the pieces that I've experienced. I do have the experience. I've 17 and a half years. I've had that walk into God, into faith. I've walked away from it. And now I can't even tell you that just how blessed I feel. And I can tell you too that one of the things that I can share with you today that you can actually do some action on is being grateful. Having gratitude for the things that are going on in your life, because the things that are happening to you are for you, not against you. And this was another big, huge revelation to me. And I just, that moment that I learned that Doug was a grief counselor, he was really my really best guy friend, and he still is a really great guy friend to me. And it was a great place for me to heal. It was a great place for me to take the baby steps back into my faith. It was a great place to really surround myself with some really amazing, incredible people that I still have the honor to be friends with. And so Nashville has a really great experience for me in a place of great growth on becoming the person who, that I was learning to lean into, and, really finding out who I was again, and, figuring out what my why was, and, what am I doing? What am I doing going forward? And I can sit here today and tell you that I feel like I've been walking in the wilderness though too. Like I feel like I've been one of the people, in the Bible, walk in the wilderness for 40 years. I was like, I finally was like, you know what? Stop it. Just freaking stop it. God planted and has planted in your life. I want you to understand this too, has planted the people, places, and things in your life to show you a different way that you can be and do and become more than who you are. I have had the most amazing and complete honor of being surrounded by amazing people that have inspired me, uplifted me, and are there to show me the people who I can ask questions, who I can connect with, who can connect me with others. And I'm here to tell you that if you're watching this, yes, he has, that if you're sitting here with me right now and you're watching this, or you listen to this at a later time, there's no accident why you're hearing this story. Absolutely none. You are here for a reason. I believe in the universe. I believe that if that's what you just believe in is the universe and the spirits and the things all coming together, I believe that too. I believe in God has created that for us, for all beings to be one. I believe that I'm a part of something so much bigger than myself. And in this process, especially in the last probably couple months, yes, absolutely, yes, Teresa, that in the last couple months, I have definitely opened myself up to receiving more and to receiving more of his gifts. And here's another thing that I've learned, that all the people in common, that if you really take a look at them and you really, and you are open to really doing at least a little research or your Google search, because we have everything we need in the palm of our hand. We have a little mini computer that we walk around with every single day. There's absolutely nothing that we can't find, right? There's not anything that we cannot enhance in our lives. I'm talking mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We can learn things to be more physically fit. We can learn things to be more, financially fit. And these are the people, places, and things that I've been learning from. And I decided I didn't want to be in that space anymore. First of all, to be in a job where I'm going to have somebody tell me what to do. I'm 62 years old as we speak on this video. And I decided, no, that is no longer. And at 62 years old, 2 years ago, which brings me back to my other story that I shared earlier. This week is one of my greatest blessings. I'm so grateful. Is remember I shared with you that I had breast implants to enhance so that I can make more money. So I thought that's what I needed them for. And they made me very, very sick. And I do have a video down in my YouTube channel. It talks about breast implant illness, what it's done for me. when I started sharing my story, 6 of my friends have explanted. And so this week counts 2 years for me. So I am definitely feeling like a hero of my own story today, that I took a space of feeling super, super sick. And, I had a doctor that was telling me that I was, starting to have effects of Alzheimer's, and I refused to believe him. And the reason that he said that too is because my mom had Alzheimer's, my grandma had Alzheimer's, and I was at the point where I couldn't even remember where I parked my car. It was absolutely devastating. But I knew that I knew that I knew that it was breast implant illness. And so 2 years ago, I explanted, and within weeks, I was able to remember where my car was. I remember doing a lot of things. I had red blotches all over my arms. I wore long sleeves all the time in the summertime, and because it was just ridiculously crazy. And now I just have just a few remnants left. Like there's a couple. I still have a little bit of BII, breast implant illness going on. I'm still working, getting through the toxins. So it's been a really big challenge to rid myself of weight, a lot of things, but you know what? I just keep I'm still continuing to work on that, but I'm so grateful where I'm at right now. So I'm very, very grateful. So this is the place that I would love for you to get to, is that to be grateful for all the things that have happened, again, like I said, to you, because they're actually happening for you. And remember in the beginning, I say, E.T. said, man, we are dope. We're like dope because we are uniquely made. Like there's no one like us. There's nobody that is replicated like us. And so what all the things that have happened to us, we get to be that voice, that light, that faith, that hope for other people. And I want you to know that you are that person. You are strong. You are amazing. You are your hero. You are a hero of your own story, and you get to share that story. And I would love to hear your story too. So feel free to, reach out to me, follow me, just be that leader that you're meant to be. And I would love to follow you in your journey too. So on that note, everyone, again, I want you to really realize and understand that it is what you did. It's not who you are. And if you're having an identity crisis, like I said, like I did, I'm here for you. Teresa's here for you. There's many, many people that you can reach out to that will be more than willing and would love to pull you up, lift you up, inspire you, and help to motivate you in your day. So thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday. And again, I hope there's something in here that, can just help you get through the day today. Then I will feel super grateful about that. I absolutely stinking love you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you next Saturday, same time, 11 Eastern. And again, go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and I'll drop this in later. Thank you guys and gals. Love you. Bye.